What's up, guys? Odibor here today. This is kind of a different episode. I won't be covering any type of gun, more or less. It'll be more like a vehicle, as you can see. I'm going to be doing the M1 Abrams today. This one is actually, I believe, the M1A2 Abrams, but we'll get all into that stuff in a little bit. So, actually, first, to probably actually get started, the M1 Abrams. It's actually a main battle tank. I mean, it's just a tank that's used on the front lines. It was developed in the United States of America. It's been in service since 1980, and it's still in service today, obviously, since Battlefield has this game, which is a pretty modern game. It's used by many different countries. It's been in the Gulf War, so just a little bit. It was used definitely very profusely throughout Afghanistan and Iraq. The designer... Don't get this wrong with the manufacturer, but the designer of this tank is Chrysler Defense. Now, it's not the same thing as Chrysler, the motor company, but you get the idea. But it's manufactured by Lima Army Tank Plant, which is just, I'm guessing it's a plant that develops parts, and then I believe it's assembled in the Detroit Arsenal Tank Plant. These things cost about $6.2 million each. So you can imagine these things aren't very cheap. And I'm guessing that's where a lot of our money has gone into when we got into the military. There's been about 9,000 of these built. It weighs about 67.6 tons. Okay, so you have to remember how... Just think about it. Your average car probably weighs a little over a ton. Maybe 2 tons. Because a ton is 2,000 pounds. I'm not going to do the math where you convert it into kilometer... grams or whatever, how in the hell, kilograms, anything like that. The length of the weapon, sorry about that, if I was a little bit out of breath there. The length of the weapon, or at least the gun, is about 32 feet, and then the length, that's with the gun all the way forward, and with the length of the hull, it's about 26 feet, so it's a pretty long vehicle. It's only about 12 foot wide, and it's only about 8 foot high, so most people are just about 2 feet or so shorter than that, so that's not a very tall thing. It takes 4 different crew members, but it uses these I don't know how to explain this to you guys. It's a steel encased armor. But one thing that's special about it is there's this in the newer versions, there's these little panels on the side of the tank to where if an RPG hits it, the panels actually detonate themselves, and it takes the shrapnel from probably the RPG is what it's going to be launched at, rocket propelled grenade, and it takes that shrapnel and it detonates it back out the other way. It doesn't send it flying, but it protects the crew from the inside. So it's fairly heavily armored. But its main weapon, or its main cannon, the M1. It was the 105 millimeter. But in the modern ones, the M1-M1 and the M1A2 uses the 120 millimeter cannon. So, but the 105 is actually the same round that's used in the howitzer. So you guys can imagine that's a pretty hefty round. But it usually has a single 50 caliber mounted machine gun on the top, or it can have two 7.62 M240 machine guns. Those are just lightweight machine guns that are usually carried around by ground troops. Its engine is a Honeywell AGT 1500C multi-fuel turbine engine, and that kind of means that it runs off of, I believe this is what I remember from seeing on the military channel. This isn't exactly from my sources, but I believe it uses J5 jet fuel. So you have to imagine this thing is a pretty badass piece of equipment. But it's got an Allison DDA transmission. It's about 1.7 off the ground and 1.5 for the M1A2. It holds 500 gallons. You guys didn't know that, but its effective operational range is about 300 miles in the MBC system. I'm not sure what that is. I'll have to research that. Maybe put it in the comments or something. It goes about 355 miles. It's actually pretty fast. If you have to remember, this thing weighs almost 70 tons. But it goes on the road 45 miles an hour. And that's with the governor on it, which is just a thing that the government makes you put on vehicles that restricts its maximum speed. So that thing can probably do, I'm going to guess, for about 75 miles an hour without the governor. And off-road it goes about 33 miles an hour. So this is a pretty hefty piece of equipment. I can guarantee you that there are many different people who have had their lives saved by this thing. This is one of those things where you see it coming up behind you, or you're walking into a battle zone and you see that thing in front of you. It warms your heart, and it kind of rattles your balls when it's fired. But there actually are many countries that get to use this weapon. One of them is Australia. Some more of them are Egypt and Iraq. That's the Iraqi army and the Egyptian army. Kuwait, Morocco, Saudi Arabia, and the United States. Those are the only countries, sorry, I'm tired, that use this weapon. So you can imagine it's pretty special if you get to have one of these. So that concludes this episode. Hopefully you guys like the change of pace. You got to see some M1-A2 action here in this gameplay. I know it wasn't the fastest paced gameplay I've ever had, but it was the best I could do. Vehicles in Bad Company aren't a fast-paced type thing, you know. I mean, they're fun, but you want to see fast-paced if you're going to do infantry stuff. So thank you for watching. Please remember to subscribe. I do many things in my community, like live streams and stuff. So, and I'm probably going to have another live stream probably tomorrow night, or Friday night. So please remember to subscribe, guys. Thank you very much for watching this episode, and just make sure that when you're entering your battlefield, you always know your weapon.